The 20-Sided Tavern is currently running at the Broadway Playhouse through January 15th. It's a new show that celebrates fantasy gaming. We have Sarah Reynolds here, head game designer and resident tavern keeper. Thank you so much for your time today.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about how this show works because if you love audience participation, I mean, this is a show for you.
Oh yeah, yeah. There is no passive watching of this show. um, so yeah, the Twenty-Sided Tavern is incredibly interactive, but one of the incredible things about it is as interactive as you want it to be. So we use a variety of different things. We use a technology called Gamiotics, which is a browser-based thing on your smartphone, which means you can make decisions and compete in challenges from your seat. You don't have to get up or anything like that. And so if you want to, as we say, if you want to remain in the dark anonymity to which you've become accustomed, you can do that. Or we also have games where if you want to get on stage and play fantasy beer pong with us or read lines as one of the characters, you can do that too. So there's the whole spectrum of interaction. You can call out names, call characters, all sorts of things. So you can be as involved, passive in your seat as you want, but everyone is playing together. Everyone is working together to tell this story.
Let's go back. Let's go back to that talking point you just said because most
Yeah.
shows they're like, put away your phones. You can't have your phones out during the
Yeah.
show. And this one, it's encouraged.
It is completely encouraged. We also encourage you to take pictures and videos throughout the whole show and post them and do anything with them. So it's incredibly encouraged. What we always say is that we're throwing a party with this show. That's what it is. We are coming together and we're having fun and we're throwing a party. And you want to take pictures of that, and you want to take videos of that, and you want to be involved with that. So it's heavily encouraged. It's not your standard, sit in your seat, put your phone on silent, don't talk for an hour until intermission.
And also too, with a show like this, is that no two shows are ever alike. So talk a
Correct.
little bit about that and kind of preparing for that because you have no idea, what to expect on stage.
Yeah, totally. So it is a mixture of sort of pre-scripted plot points and then improv. So almost half the show is improvised, and we never know what is going to happen. So we always know like what the adventure is kind of going to be and what our goal is, but how we get there and everything that happens in between A and B is completely unplanned, and it is based on what the audience tells us to do. So we will ask them, are we going to go to this door or this door? Are we going to try to be strong or are we going to try to be smart? And so the audience tells us what to do. And then the actors that we have are all incredible improvisers. And so we do a lot of improv with the characters. And then we roll the dice. And the dice also tells us how well we do at things sometimes. So all of those factors contribute to completely unique experiences every single show.
Because, with it being an all ages show, you obviously probably have, younger fans who come there or their parents who bring their kids, but then you might also have a Saturday night where it's all, people in their 30s who are ready to have, a rowdy good time.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're really good at seeing who is in the audience that night and sort of adjusting the show rating based on that. If there are a lot of kids, especially at the matinees, those are very family friendly performances, and so we make sure that the kids get involved. Those kids always love to go on stage and play the games, and so we're very family friendly in that way. But you're right, the Saturday nights when we look out, and if there are not a lot of kids, we might make it a little bit more PG-13. And we can, because it's improvised, we can adjust in those ways.
Sometimes with fantasy gaming, and I know like in my circle of friends, people had their like group of like 4, 6, or 8 people that like always got together, always talked about it. This was their life. Talk a little bit about maybe when you're at the show in the lobby, people sitting next to each other and how like friendships might form, or just some of the conversations you might see with some of the fans.
Yeah, that is one of my absolute favorite things about this experience is how much people become friends by coming here. So we see huge gaming groups come and they'll come in costume. They'll come to the show in their chainmail armor and their elf ears. And then they will see other people who are also there in costume and they will make friends. We have a very lively Discord that people join after the show. And we will hold like game nights and everything on there. And this is from everywhere we've been. So the 20th Tavern has had performances in New York, Pittsburgh, Edinburgh, and then now Chicago. And so there are folks on our Discord from all of those places that are interacting and becoming friends with each other and like doing games together, which is really unique and special, I think.
I can imagine too that if you come in, blindly to the show where you're like, oh, this is, something I'm interested in, and then you don't show up in costume, you're not making friends, that you're going to come back again and say, I got to get dressed the right way, and I'm going to be maybe a little bit more open to talking to people the next time around.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, also come as you are. If you want to come and just sit there, that's also okay. But again, like I said, it really truly feels like a party. And so I think it's hard to sit in the audience and not want to talk to the person next to you and not, there are moments where we're asking the audience to solve riddles. And so like the house lights will come up and the actors will go out and the audience, you have a minute to solve a riddle. And most of the audience members, they'll start talking with each other. They'll start trying to solve it together and work together on it. So there really is that atmosphere of, even if you come by yourself, you're probably going to talk to somebody and have a great time because we're all just here trying to tell the story together. And the stakes are really high and the excitement is really, electric. So we all just kind of become a big family by the end.
That is awesome. Let's talk a little bit because I know sometimes, when you go to a show, you might have one super fan and you might ask a friend like, "Hey, I know this may not be 100%, your thing, but you got to come. It's going to be fun." Or the kids might be into it and ask their parents to come bring them. But I'm assuming just with the interaction, with how much fun that you're getting a lot of fans, super fans who maybe not didn't come in that way at the beginning.
Yeah, we have several super fans we love so much. We have gotten fan art and gifts that actually live on the set now, and we'll have people come back, 3, 4, 5 times, bringing new people every time. And because it is so different, the story is different, the characters are different. It means that they are getting different experiences every time, and I think that just makes them keep wanting to come back and show it to more and more people. And the thing about the show, especially, is that you don't have to know anything about role playing games or about Dungeons and Dragons beforehand because we do teach you. Anything that you will need to know to, have a good time at the show, we are going to teach you. You do not need to be an expert. You don't need to have a set of dice at home. You just need to come, be ready for a fun time, and we'll teach you anything in between there.
And then final thing here, you just mentioned about the fan art. If somebody has a piece that they want, I don't know what protocols are now, but as far as someone wanting to give the cast some fan art, how do they go about just doing that?
Yeah, I mean, if it's digital, they can give it to us either through our website or through our Discord. We actually have a whole channel in the Discord for people to share their art. People have mailed it to us at the theater. We do come out and stage door sometimes. So if you come to the show and then want to chat with us afterwards, hang around in the lobby and we'll come out. So yeah, any way you want, really.
Anyway, well, Sarah, thank you so much for your time today. The show's here through January 15th. Plenty of chances to go ahead and check it out. And like we were talking about, no two shows are ever the same. So you might have one experience, you might have a whole completely different experience, going.
Yeah.
Wonderful. BroadwayInChicago.com is where you're going to get those tickets. And happy holidays. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks so much. Happy holidays.